Welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast with Jacob Ayers, providing actionable content to help you along your journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. As the premier asset class, real estate has helped ordinary people just like you amass fortunes. The benefits of passive income from real estate investing will allow you to live a life you want. And now your host, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and apartment deal syndicator, Jacob Ayers.
All right, welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast. Hey, welcome back. I'm your host, Jacob Ayers. I am so excited to share today with our guest for a record-setting fourth time, Vinney, Mr. Smiles Chopra. As you guys all have heard Vinney on the previous podcast, he is a multifamily investor, podcaster, educator, motivational speaker, author, and so much more. My good friend, mentor, and partner, Vinney Chopra. Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jacob. It's such a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you, what you're doing, and all the success to you and your audiences who are watching me, listening to me. And if I can contribute a little bit, it'll be my pleasure.
Oh, well, I have no doubt you'll be able to do that, Vinney. Well, hey, it's been a little bit since we've had you on the podcast last. I know you're always up to new things, so I wanted to get you back on. And, we're living in really interesting times, so I just wanted to kind of get an update on what you're seeing today, what you've been up to, and all those new things. So before we get into all that, if people are listening to you for the very first time, just kind of give us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Oh, sure. I'm from India originally, Vinney Chopra. I grew up in India, as many of you might see in the other podcast. I entered USA about 44 years back with $7 in my pocket and became a salesperson from an engineer, mechanical engineer to a consultant, then motivational speaker, and, raised lots and lots of money, I would say, for nonprofit and profit organization. Maybe God was willing to make me to learn the tricks of the trade of how to use the hands and Toastmasters and all that and interaction and build the network to raise millions that I raise now. But I became a broker in 2005. So Jacob, not too long back. Look at that. I'm 67 and 15 years back is when people sometimes retire, right? They say at 55, I'm done with the deal and everything. Right. I started my whole career at the age of 56, to be truthful. And, I've been doing the multifamily syndication business, which is pooling of money together from the family, friends, neighbors, all the people, acquaintances, to bring about the best returns, not, through SEC ruling, Securities and Exchange Commission ruling, which you are also into it. So essentially, what we have done is my first apartment was 14 units. Hold on.
14
units for $180,000 just 12 years back. Just 12 years, very short time. We did have a lot of, single family homes and things like that. But I knew that I'm not going to retire on those single family homes or pay for education and things like that for our children. So that's when I took a big drastic step 12 years back, literally, when I started with 14 units, then 109 units, then 60 units, then 120, then 200, then 150. So I've done 32 syndications so far now. 32.
Wow. 32. The number's growing every day.
Every day, And the exciting part is that a lot of out of 32, maybe 22 we have already sold. That means I added value and sold them at a higher price, give my investors pretty high returns, like 18 to 26, even 40% IRR. I have had good fortune to buy some properties, value add. Not right now. You can do it now, and also because I can raise a lot more money. I just raised $6 million over the weekend, $6 million, for this Austin deal. And everybody knows about Austin. And not only that, we are at a much higher level. So I'm not giving away any secret. People know that the dysfunction during the COVID, the Silicon Valley in California, very close to where I live in Danville, Black Hawk, California, right here, 45 minutes away, where there were Apple and Teslas and all of them, they are migrating. A lot of during COVID, right? We are just talking about COVID. I mean, COVID has not slowed us down, my companies or anybody, because we have even expanded and added few more branches into our company. And the good part is senior assisted living. We'll get into that. Then the branding, Money loans now. And then, we are doing, of course, the book that, I wrote, which just came out yesterday, by the way.
Yes, we have to talk about that. It's a great book.
We'll talk about it, that hit 16, I think, top number one categories, something I was finding out. Anyway, but we are writing third book, fourth book, like that. But let's go into multifamily. I really believe this is the best time to get into multifamily. Anybody listening to me after, as we record and broadcast, that's what was my first 180 units 14 units for $180,000 was in the crash of 2007 and 8.
Wow, okay.
If I had not taken that step, I wouldn't be having 4,500 doors and 380 million portfolio and things like that. Not really. So this is the right time. There'll be more opportunities will be coming in the, everybody's lap. But the opportunity knocks only one time. You got to grab it. You got to run with it.
Vinney, I hear so many people in today's environment saying, I'm going to wait for a correction. I'm going to wait for a crash before I get started. You say you have to be in it to win it, right? You have to be in it to have that one chance, that one opportunity that comes knocking. This might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for newer investors to get involved investing in real estate. Like you took advantage of those market kind of cycles in 2007, 2008. You grew from that very first 16-unit property to 4,500 plus doors now. It's just amazing what you've done in the past 12, 14 years.
So true, so true. And Jacob, the other thing is also, I made some good fortune from then. Then 2014, December or November, I formed my own company, right? Monil Investment Group is only 5 years old. And we have purchased almost $225,000 in just that alone, and we're going to be going bigger and bigger to $1 billion and so forth like that. But the big thing is you said it right. You got to play to win. You got to play. You got to pick that bat up, right? The reason I say that is some people are saying, let me just kind of watch and watch and watch. Okay, you'll be left on the backside watching. All your other buddies are going to grab the opportunity and move forward because brokers are not going to give you and look for your email address or phone number.
If it were only that easy.
It's not. If it were, everybody will be rich. The key thing is you got to be talking to brokers, building relationships, making sure that they know that you are a performer, that you have investors, you have a group of people who will be coming to the table. Brokers will not talk to you at all because once they get a sniff that you're just trying and you're just trying to learn the business and you don't have anything behind you at all, they'll put you in the dust. I'm telling you. Literally, you got to build the relationship with brokers and with, of course, our investors, right? We talk about that. I mean, if you have the net worth, if you have all the cash, fabulous. But if you don't, work on it every day to get more people in their list,
Yeah, absolutely. Vinney, looking across the nation at successful apartment investors, apartment syndicators, you are the top of the top. You are in that top category, right? But it hasn't always been like that. One could look at you and think, wow, Vinney's a total overnight success in the past 5 years. He's grown his multifamily portfolio. But truth is, 20, 30 years ago, you were investing in smaller properties, investing in single family houses and small multis, duplexes, triplexes. So your path is very replicable to just the everyday person out there listening to this podcast.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, Jacob, you hit the nail on the head. The thing is, you got to, again, dreams, everybody's got dreams, but you got to put the dreams on, write them down as goals, and then you put a deadline, okay? Goals are nothing at all. It's aspirations until you put a deadline, and then you work towards those goals on a daily basis. You got to, put affirmations, all the good stuff, right? But you got your mindset. If your mind is not right, nothing can be accomplished in life. Nothing. You got to really conceive and be really truthful to yourself to say how badly you wanted, the whys, the passion, every day. It should not be a chore to call the investors. It should be a passion. Hey, I'm going to find 2 investors today. I mean, they're going to be in any walks of my life. I talk about in my book, which became a top seller last year, thank God. And
Yes.
167 5-star reviews and everything. I really appreciate everybody who has found some good value in this book. And we have the Spanish edition, as you know.
Yes, that's great for our Spanish speakers out there.
Spanish also, and audio and Kindle. So all the 4, right? Oh, you have it there.
I have it right here. Such a great book. You can see I've got it all tabbed up, studied it, marked it up, sent so many copies to friends and family. It's a great book for the audience members that can't see what we're holding. This is Vinney's first book, Apartment Syndication Made Easy, my journey from $7 to a $250 million portfolio, just mind-boggling numbers there. But Vinney, you approach things in a really unique fashion, I'll have to admit. And you're, one, very humble all the time. I mean, you are a very successful real estate syndicator, very humble for the amount of success you have. But more importantly, I think, is you bring this like exuding confidence and positivity to everything you do. And that kind of leads into your second book, Positivity Brings Profitability. And I love the title of that. And you certainly practice what you preach there.
I appreciate that. This really came about, Jacob. I want to thank my wife, Kanchan. We've been married 40 years. We just celebrated our wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
40th wedding anniversary. Praise the Lord. We have 2 very fine children, Neil and Monica. And Monica and Neil together is our brand, Monil.
Yes, I knew that.
Right, But when I wrote that book and it became top seller, my wife said, you know what? Vinod, you have written a good book. She read it too and everything. She says, but that's for limited audiences. She says, I've been married to you. This was last year, 39 years. You are the most positive person I know. So you need to write on positivity. Guess what? Next morning I got up. I started writing the book.
I love it. Yes.
So this actually came about, because of her inspiration, telling me about it. And the book was put together about 4 months back. It came on my desk with the publishers and all. I'm not a good writer, but I speak a lot. So transcription of all those things and all that are combined in the book. I said to my team, hey, this is not a book to go to the publishing at all. So we went back to the book again and reworked all the chapters and everything. So I'm really happy. I hope people will get some good things out of it. It just talks to you right square in your face, how to really be positive. A lot of people tell me, Vinney, I'm so negative. The whole world is negative. I just can't seem to really get that glimmer of hope in a lot of things. So I teach in there how to really train your brain, how to really put things in practice so that you can really become very positive. Slowly. It's a process, but you will become, and you will have these laws of abundance and the laws of attraction. Universal laws really guide your life to the fullest.
I love it.
It's all about,
You can create your own reality with your own perspective, Vinney. If you wake up one day and think, today's going to be a great day, and something happens, you think, well, I'm just going to brush that to the side. I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm having a great day because I told myself you will in turn have a great day. On the opposite hand, if you wake up and you're just dreading your tasks at hand, you don't want to do anything, and then you're just getting distracted and you're procrastinating things, you're going to have a bad day. You create your own reality, and you talk about that in the book.
So true, Jacob, what you just said. We are the CEO of our life, Chief Executive Officer, right? We live our life to the way we want. Each moment, a lot of us spend so much time dwelling on the past. So many guilt feelings and so many bad things happen, past, and they dictate us present and spoil the future. That is the biggest blah I find. People are always going back to the past. You and I cannot even change 30 seconds back what happened to us.
No.
Literally, nobody can turn back the clock, except that movie we saw, right? Back to the Future. But the thing is, the key thing is to really live in the present. Live in the present. If we live in the present and be very productive and the kind of people we want to become someday, tomorrow is going to take care of it because we gave our best today. And if today we didn't give the best, tomorrow it's gone. Don't cram yourself and beat yourself up and always say, I'm no good and things like that. That's not going to get us anywhere. We need to totally focus on our mind, neck up. Zig Ziglar taught us, right? Stinking thinking. We are stinkers. We are. So many things come into our life and they bring so negative. Mr. Mediocrity, I talk about, I think in this book or my next book, Mr. Mediocrity sits on this shoulder and Mrs. Mediocrity on this shoulder, I say, because that's what really bogs us down on a daily basis. The negative, the mediocrity of where we are. But we just totally don't leave it in the shackles and the cages and the jail. It's limited. It's only our mind that can take us up and free us up,
Yeah.
So don't worry about the past, but live in the present and live positively.
I love it. And these things, Vinney, you talk about are the foundation to your success. Having a positive perspective, having goals and a vision and aspirations, and practicing your kind of daily meditations and just clearing your head and thinking about your growth as a person. That's the foundation to your success. And then you go out and you invest in different types of real estate. It's not necessarily like the nuts and bolts that are of real estate investing that are your foundation, right? It's not the markets you invest in or the asset class. It starts with your mindset. It starts with your goals, your vision, those things.
You said it. You said it so right. Jacob, look at that. We are into hospitality, Monil hospitality.
Yeah.
We just bought Hilton Garden Inn right close to you, right there in McAllen, 100% occupied. Hold on. Even during COVID, it's 100% occupied. We're going to buy Marriott's and name brands in that division. Then my Monil branding, because everybody nowadays look you up. If you want to grow your business to the next level, you got to brand your name. Who's your avatar customer or investor and things like that, right? There's so many great techniques now. Click funnels, lead magnets, all that stuff. So that's the other company we formed. The other thing is senior living. Multifamily is in my blood,
Yes, of course.
Never go away anywhere from there. So multifamily C class, C plus, B. Now we are into Bs because we can raise a lot of money. At the same token, don't defy the trends. What I just said is so right. Don't defy the trends of demographics. A big shift is coming. There was a book, right? Couple of years back, The Big Shift. Please pick that up. It talks about how millennials, the Z and the Z, generation, as they're growing, the baby boomers, 10,000 of baby boomers are turning 65 every night. Every midnight, 10,000 new people get into 65 plus. And quite a big number of that 65 get into 75, and all that.
Yeah, right.
85. So it's like 20 million people in USA will be 85 plus. Hold on, 20 million people. They're 6.4 million right now, I think, and they're going to grow, population will go. And then 65 plus also huge, millennials, huge, right? So what we have to look at is, okay, in multifamily, what changes are going to come? The biggest latched on thing for me right now is the seniors who are needing assistance. There's a lot of senior livings, right? Mm-hmm. There are rehab centers, there's senior homes, where the COVID effects are coming and some deaths are happening. So sad about that. But in our assisted senior living space, where I am at, luxury is the word, because only build it one story. We put movie theater, spas, salons, library, pianos, a full bus for that unit, for that multifamily, for transportation. We got restaurant style dining. Hold on. In the multifamily, it's got courtyards, it's got swimming pool, it's got spas, it's got a butterfly house, it's got putting green, it's got fountains, it's got waterfall. It's like a luxury resort, what we are building. And I just, wanted to get into this field, but I just sent out signals, law of attraction, right? More your signal strength is, the more people will come into your network. And that's what happened. I came across my partner now, Imran, who had done 23 of them already. So now we have the goal to build 6 to 10 every year.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's 200 million every year for the next 10 years. So that's 2 billion we'll be building, I mean, it's amazing, mine just goes in different ways, Yeah.
I love it. Well, Vinney, how do you have the energy to continue doing what you're doing? Like you said, you could easily retire. You should have retired a while back ago. You could have, but you're still every day up crazy early, making calls. You're on the West Coast. You're making calls back to the East Coast already. Those people are awake. You're catching up with them. You're staying up late. You're flying around the country to Florida, to Texas, to Georgia, to California. I mean, you're always on the go, always doing something, always creating content, helping people. Why? How? What's going on?
I think it's just, I mean, my wife says that, aren't you tired after 17 hours a day? Like a couple of days back, I had 17-hour day from 4 o'clock up to about 7 o'clock or whatever. But, I was fresh like a dickon. I was. I mean, I'll be 68. I'll be 68 in August 27th. The key thing is, when you have passion about what you are doing, you're enjoying it. That is not work at all. It really is not, And I love, you just mentioned about this book. My third book is almost ready, which is my partners in senior living, right? We have a show also. So I do 2 podcast shows. That's the third one. And then Bo and I just finished the one, which is our again show right there. So 4 shows a week, plus the 4 books, the second and the third, which I'm writing another book with Bo, my good buddy, the loan broker, Apartment Lending Made Easy. We teach everybody what to look for and all that. Yeah.
Multiple books, multiple podcasts, multiple businesses, property management company, multiple asset classes. You see the trend here, Vinney. You are constantly growing, doing things, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, even at the age of 67. So fun and inspiring to see.
I think, again, my goal is that, more value I can bring. I think my passion right now is to teach millions and millions of people who are retiring how they could take, what's that, $28.6 trillion in retirement funds in Wall Street right now. And how can they self-direct that retirement plan and put that money to work for them rather than at a 2%, 5% tick. So getting a high percentage, so that they can live a lifestyle of rich and nice. And not only that, maybe you invest into the senior living that we are building and get great returns and live into our communities also.
There you go.
Yeah, and I think the idea is as much as positivity you can bring outside you to everybody, you will see many, many fold will come back in your life. That's how I found.
I know you talk about, as a real estate investor, you create win-win-win scenarios, right? And just take an example of a property you'll buy, for example. You're looking at making it a win for both your investors, both the management group, the property management company, not to mention the residents and the community and the team members. It's just so many symbiotic relationships that you can create win-win relationships there. And you do a great job at doing that.
Oh, thank you. No, that's so true. I'm just trying to see my face. I've been kind of going in swimming pools, so darker I'm getting. But, I was going to say that you're so right. Investors are gold, especially in my world. If my friends and my, colleagues, they didn't believe in me, then I wouldn't be where I am, right? Pooling of the money together to really scale up, to raise $6, $7, $10 million and buy the buildings so that they can get great returns. Residents are gold. If the residents really like my communities, then we are dust, we are gone. So we need to have that in our mission statement. Then the team members, our community managers, lead maintenance, leasing people who are on our payroll, they are my strong Monil face at the properties. And then vendors are gold. Thousands of vendors we use. If they didn't really do a great job, how can our communities be what they will be? And then comes after that, our team, our administrative team and the whole VPs and everybody's right there, they are gold. And then my family, we are at the end, like that. But it's a win-win-win game. It really is. But the exciting part is that on an academy, I'm trying to expand so that I can teach lots of my ideas at a much reasonable cost. That has been going in through my mind. I'm putting together a platform where people can get into it for $990. Actually, that has been my quest to get to 1 million people. I just believe logical mind is such that, if you gather people in a hotel or something, people are spending thousands of dollars to come. And I like the world of virtual. So COVID has even given me more fuel right now to really even expand at a much higher level, to go virtual with all these teachings and everything so that I can reach across the world, anybody. People won't be coming from Nigeria or Jamaica or anywhere to be in my seminar. They might. But if I can do virtual and give them the experience of their lifetime and teach them at a much, much lower price, they might get great value and implement those systems. So instead of hundreds of people in a seminar, I believe in getting millions of people, So that's where my thinking is, but we'll see, how we do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Vinney, I've been part of your academy for a while now, part of your group, and I couldn't speak enough to the positive impacts it's had in my life. And as somebody getting started investing in real estate, you look to someone like you, a successful person who's done what you're wanting to do, but it can be hard to get that person's attention because one, they're successful. Two, they're busy. They're doing what, it is you want to do. They're not making a living out of going around and telling you how they do what they do. They're doing it, right? So it can be hard to get that person's attention, but you've made it accessible to people just like me and the audience members to, bend your ear every now and then and learn from you and see what you're doing. So I love the academy. I love what you're doing with your mentoring group. It's been phenomenal. I highly recommend anybody that's interested to check you out because obviously I'm a little biased here, but definitely recommend it.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate you. No, I think the big thing is, you got to walk the talk, I say, right? There are a lot of people take examples theoretically. I mean, all my 12, 15 years, what I've done, all my academy, all my lectures, 1,000 now, I think we are reaching. And then 2-hour sessions are reaching hundreds of hours of every week and all that. So thank you for saying that. But, again, I would love to give everything for $99 or whatever, right? It's just that there are some costs involved. That's why, we have to kind of put it at some price. But knowledge is free. I mean, everything is out there free, to be truthful. It's just that, you have assimilated, that's the only word, right? To teach the systems and provide all the blueprints and, no holds bar. I mean, I don't want to, not share anything. Why not? Because I want everybody to be better than me. That's
what I would recommend is if somebody's interested in learning more about you, Vinney, there's so much free content online. I mean, you've done hundreds, possibly thousands of podcasts. You host several podcasts. You've done speaking engagements and conferences. So there is no shortage of Vinney Chopra content on the interwebs, right? So if anybody's interested, go look you up, just check you out, get a feel for what you do and your teaching style and your kind of vision and philosophy, and then see if, they align with that. And I'd recommend to do that with anybody you're interested in learning from.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacob. No, it's such a pleasure. I think we are at the junction in time with COVID. A lot of people could have taken it, oh my gosh, what to do. But I think this is the time for all of us to really expand our thinking and think about those big dreams that you always thought about. Learn the kind of skills you always wanted, because we don't have to spend time in the traffic, 2 hours going to the office, 2 hours coming back. I mean, the whole lifestyle is going to change for every single person after we come out of COVID. If even right now, we have so much time we can spend with family, with everybody, our hobbies. I mean, I'll be playing, a bridge online. Right now, I play every day, 11:30 to 1 o'clock. I love that, with the family. And that's such a great feeling that you could do it during business hours. Why not, and things like that. So it's good to really set the mind up, because we can accomplish. I've always believed that last 40 years, 30 years, that we don't need a week to do everything we do in a week. I really believe we can do all the work of 5 days in 3 days. I really believe that. a whole month's work, you could do it in half the month. If we really concentrated, if we really took care of the most important things we need to accomplish today. That's what big thing is, I just reminded about the jar example from Stephen Covey. He was on the stage and he had this jar which had, like he said, well, it's an empty jar. I've got some stones and pebbles and sand and all those things in the other beakers, and then water jug, big one. So he started putting pebbles, small pebbles and sand and other stuff and all. Then he put the water in there. He says, oh my gosh, he turned around to the audience. He said, I forgot to put these big rocks in. So then he tried to put the big rocks into the jar. Guess what? He couldn't do it. The water was coming out, the sand was coming out, the whole table was getting messy. That's what we do in our life, by the way. Because see, the thing is, then he did another jar he put the big rocks first. Then he put the pebbles, then he put the sand on another example. Then he put water. Everything came out really good. Metaphorically, that's how we should look at our life and our day. The most important 4 rocks are the 4 important activities we need to do to get the major result today. So if we can keep that mind indelibly always, that, what are the most important things? They are time spent in the building relationship with the clients, with the investors, talking to brokers in our business, right? And taking care of the visioning of the teams and meeting with the vice presidents and all that. Those are the most important activities for me. But if I can take care of them in a weekly basis, then all the rest is fluff. It really is. And we should be delegating it. We should not be doing the things that somebody else can do better than us.
Yeah, so important there. I love that.
Yeah. The biggest thing is, we need to really make sure every day when we do the miracle morning in the morning and realign ourselves and get our day productively and pay gratitude. And, just Google. Anybody can Google or YouTube Miracle Morning. My good friend Hal Alrod, he wrote the book, Miracle Morning, Miracle Equation. He's writing some other books. Beautiful, beautiful concept. How you can really align yourself for true north. Stephen Covey, again, great mentor. Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar. I mean, all these great people, Augmendino, Dave, our Napoleon Hill, all of them. I'm just a product of all these readings and the coachings that I have just tried to implement at a smaller level. They have become a part of me now. They've just become my habit. And they've transformed me, I guess, And I think everybody can be in that situation.
I love it. Vinney, well, hey, you're an example of how, in an example here, positivity brings profitability, tying it back to that book you just wrote. I love it. It's so aptly and well named for how you've kind of lived your life and kind of steward your career. And I can't recommend the book enough. It's been a lot of fun having you on. Usually we would wrap up with a lightning round, but being this your 4th appearance, you've already answered those questions. I don't know how many times, but maybe let's end up with something a little bit more on the fun, lighter note. What kind of fun things have you been up to lately?
Good point. Boy, I've been shopping a lot of these colorful shirts. I just feel like I am a very colorful guy that way. I like to really dress very ravishing colors. And, like we went to Galapagos and Amazon in the January, February. So I bought the hats. I love vivid colors. So I've been ordering like 13, 14 shirts. They should be coming. And I would like to be kind of wearing all these colorful things. And I want to be branded as Smiling Vinney, Colorful Smiling Vinney or something.
Yeah, I love it. So far, you're doing just that. Well, Vinney, maybe if any audience members are interested in learning more about you, connecting, maybe looking more about your books or your podcast or your mentoring program or whatever it is they may be interested in, where's the best place for them to do that?
Oh, sure. I'm all over the media, as you know, but please just Google me, Vinney Chopra, VINNEY CHOPRA. I have a website also, vinneychopra.com. And you could go into there, my podcast, my senior living, loans and branding, everything is there. We are designing another page, which is my big business card. That's a new concept my friend Bo shared, and we are already working on it. So Vinney Chopra will take you there. Then you click on 20 different links, and you get to meet me and see all my businesses. Yeah.
I love it. Vinney, hey, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. It's always so much fun talking with you. As we mentioned, you are currently the record holder for the most consecutive guest appearances on the podcast. We'll have to maintain that record and have you back on again.
Thank you. Thank you, Jacob. And, good luck to you, all the blessings to you, and, all the value you bring to your audiences. God bless you and your family. You take care, buddy.
Thanks so much, Vinney. Have a good one. Bye. All right, that wraps up this week's episode with our guest, Vinney Chopra. Hey, what awesome content from Vinney. As you can tell, he's super humble and such a positive and great guy. He's my mentor, my partner, and someone I truly look up to. If you want to learn more about anything we mentioned in the podcast today, like Vinney's book, which is Positivity Brings Profitability, or his first book, Apartment Syndication Made Easy, we'll link all of those. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen today. If you found value from this podcast, please go over and leave a rating and review if you haven't yet. Until next week, engineer the lifestyle you want.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, providing you actionable content to build your real estate empire. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for personal advice. The opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have a potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom, LLC, exclusively.